If you're divorced and you're seeing relationship patterns continue that happened in your divorce and now in your past relationships or future relationships, there's an amazing thing that you've just realized. There's the opportunity for growth. Today, we're going to talk about attachment styles and the 4 different attachment styles that are out there. And these will key you into those relationship patterns, tell you more about yourself, the partners that you pick, and help you find ways to move to the one attachment style that we should all be working towards. But first, let's touch a little bit more on these patterns that we've seen either in our past, our current relationships, or in our divorce itself. These patterns are repeated thoughts and actions of what we learned and display now. And after divorce, these patterns can help us heal, or they can trap us in the old ways and now new pain. To stay trapped is really easy, guys. It's pretty much do nothing. Stay with the same beliefs, blame everyone else, point the finger because it wasn't you. And if that's the case, I want you to do me a favor. Turn off this video. I don't want you watching it anymore. If you believe that it was everyone else's fault that you were in divorce, this is not for you. You're in the wrong place, brother. Turn off the video. Okay, for those of you that stick around and listen, you're in the right place because you're ready to do something different. You're taking ownership for your responsibilities in the relationship, and you're going to learn here how to move forward accordingly and how to be better, how not to, most importantly, repeat those patterns that you've had that have put you in a position that you found yourself in divorce. A position of loneliness, of thinking you're not enough, or questioning who you are and why you're doing the things that you've been doing, because life just doesn't make sense anymore. And I get that, brother. Today's video is going to help you on that journey, so stay tuned. So we talked about the easy thing to do. That's nothing. Just stay trapped, right? Everyone else is the problem, it's not you. To heal, we got to be open to looking for ourselves or at ourselves for the answer. Because we know love the way that we experience love. What does that mean? That means we know love the way our parents showed us love, or our grandparents, or the people in our lives. See, it's a generational thing, It's, some people say a family's cursed. It's not that they're cursed. It's that they learned a certain way to love. Maybe their parents are avoidant. So they're avoiding to show the love and affection that is needed for a kid to be successful. And here's another thing too I want you to grasp. No matter what parent is in the world, the most successful, the least successful, the hardest working, the laziest, having drug addiction, alcoholism, whatever it may be, no parent is perfect. None. There is no parent in this world that is perfect. And you, if you're so blessed to have kids, you won't be perfect either. I heard once that all kids, I heard this from a famous therapist, all kids will be messed up. It's like, what level of messed up will they be? There is never enough time for children. There is never enough moments of love. And even if there was, we'd be over-loving our kids. And that can have an adverse effect. So, accept the fact that no parents are perfect. You're not perfect. They're not perfect. But they did do the best they could with the tools they had. The faster that you can accept that, you can see that, and all the sacrifices they gave and put up for you, the faster that we can move towards a place of healing ourselves. So, chew on that for a while. Leave some comments below if you disagree, or if you agree. I'd love to hear what you have to say, because the way that we experience love is the way that we know love. But listening to this video today, you're gonna have an opportunity to change that, to put the trajectory of your family, your future family, the one that you have now, or the one that you will have in your next relationship, the one that you want. You can change the course of action of your family by understanding this concept of attachment. So, moving forward, we talked about being open. That's really necessary here. And one powerful way to understand ourselves is through our attachment style. And our attachment style starts in the relationship that we had with our parents. We've covered all that today. That's the important things we have to accept. Because these relationships, they build the foundation of love and trust, or lack thereof, in our lives. They teach us basically how to love. Sorry, there's 4 attachment styles, and I'm going to jump right in because they can kind of be a little bit to explain, but they're pretty simple. The first one we're going to start off with is the secure attachment style. Now, this is the attachment style that we should all be working for or towards. I mean, I guess you can work towards the other ones, but it'd be kind of strange. The secure attachment style is when you're comfortable with closeness and you value independence. You trust your partner, you communicate openly, and you handle disagreements well. This is a healthy balance of intimacy and personal freedom. This is where your partner feels secure and loved by you, but also is able to have a healthy, independent life. This doesn't mean that they're able to run freely around. Well, I guess if you're in that kind of a relationship, in an open relationship, and that works for you, by all means, do you, right? But it's that you guys both have the same values, you're working towards a goal, and you're able to communicate, you work through some challenges, arguments, because those are normal and natural. We're human beings, but we think in different capacities, we communicate in different capacities, and you can tune into the other videos that I have on the communication differences between males and females, or men and women, depending on how you want to look at it. But secure attachment is really where there's trust. There's love, there's trust, there's communication, there's a willingness to work together towards a common goal. Now, the other attachment styles can have those key features, but they also have key features that can be really defeating. So number 2 is the anxious, preoccupied attachment style. This is where you worry about your partner leaving you, and you need a lot of reassurance. A lot of reassurance. There we go. Went on a big run today, and so I'm still recuperating. I appreciate your understanding of that. It was an amazing run, incredible run. So back to the anxious, preoccupied. That's where you worry about your partner leaving you and need a lot of reassurance. You might sacrifice your own needs here just to keep the relationship stable. Now, there's a lot of men that do this. We're taught in the world and society today as men to sacrifice. We're brought up to be these givers and these protectors. And there's a lot of good to that. But in doing so, when we sacrifice ourselves, that's when we kind of fall apart. That's when our role in a relationship cannot be valued in the same way as a man leads himself first and then leads his family. So, the anxious, preoccupied, you might sacrifice your own needs just to keep the relationship stable. And you're going to crave closeness, but fear abandonment. It's an anxious attachment style. It's just what it says. You're not going to be completely comfortable or feel like you're enough when you're loved by your partner, and it's never going to feel enough when you are with your partner. So it's a really challenging space, and it comes down to our insecurity and us valuing ourselves. This is why it's important for us to do the work when we're divorced, because we're typically open to new frames and thought processes, and that pain and that loss. We're able to take the responsibility for the men that do stand up and do something different. So that's your anxious attachment style. The next up is the dismissive or the avoidant attachment style. Again, these are pretty straightforward, guys. So avoidant, you should right off the bat be able to identify what that means. It's where you value your independence highly and can be uncomfortable with emotional closeness. So that's where maybe you're not investing in your partner enough, and You tend to pull away when things get too intimate. And lastly, you prioritize your independence over intimacy. And this can make our partner feel the opposite, which is very anxious. A lot of these attachment styles come with a push-pull dynamic as well. So this is something I want you to realize, is that you may lean towards an avoidant, independent, lacking the closeness in a relationship, and that pushes your partner into an anxious attachment style. And vice versa, that could easily happen when you're intimate and able to be intimate. They can become avoidant for fear that they're going to be avoided again by you, which makes you anxious. So there's this very push-pull dynamic that happens in these attachment styles. And maybe you're witnessing or experiencing the awareness of that dynamic in your past relationships or the relationship you're in now. There's no problem with that. It's often the first step to have this awareness. It's the choice that you do after the awareness that's important. So that is the dismissive avoidant attachment style. And lastly, there's the combination. There's the fearful avoidant. This is the disorganized attachment. You want intimacy, but you're also afraid of it. This creates an unpredictable pattern where you might both push your partner away and then pull them back in, and you're caught between wanting and fearing closeness. This comes from a childhood that didn't really know where they stood in the relationship with their parents. And at times they would get amounts of love and abundance and then be pushed away quickly. And it leaves us in a position as adults where we're not really sure if we can fully trust our partners. So maybe you saw that in your past relationship, maybe you saw that in your divorce, and maybe since divorce, you're seeing that in a reoccurring factor, right? Like many men start dating again after divorce, they blame their ex-wife for all their problems, and then they see in these relationships that they're in, the same problems come up again, and they point the finger again. Oh, well, it's her fault. It's not me, it's her. Well, brother, like, hey, here's a hint. If you're always pointing at someone else, you forget it takes two to tango. So take ownership, assess yourself, find out where you are in the anxious avoidant cycle, find out what type of attachment style you have, think about how you can become more secure in that attachment style, and move forward accordingly. We do that work with Men After Marriage. If you're interested, reach out and learn more with our courses or in our cohorts or one-on-one. So you can find out more at menaftermarriage.com and or reach out at info@menaftermarriage. Lastly, I just want to leave you with this. Your attachment style, it affected your marriage. It probably puts you into a place of divorce, and it's going to impact your future relationships because you got to deal with it. Recognizing these patterns is often the first step towards that transformation that you really need and you want. You just got to choose. You got to choose you.